Welcome back to the wide world of water sports on NC Sports Weekly News. Speed Quest in Fuerteventura across generations for the 2015 European Windsurf Speed Championship. Capping it with a winning final against Ian Williams, Hansen's Swedes take their 5th and 4th straight Stena Match Cup. Plus, it's official, the 2016 world title will be worth $1 million. The new Tour de France Voile goes multi and debuts on the DM24. Senior Correspondent Sebastien Destremau with the report. Simply in a league of their own, Chris Rast and Swiss team EFG conquer the Melges 24 World Championship in Denmark. In a bizarre and bitter twist of fate, sailing greats Laurent Bourgnon from Switzerland and Trevor Moore of the USA are lost at sea on opposite sides of the globe. Casper Steinfath and Celine Guesdon dominate sprints and long distance in Finland. Second stopover of the 2015 European Cup for the SUP World Series. NC Sports, plunge into the action. Setting a remarkable 37.82 knots on the beachfront, Denmark's Bjorn Dunkerbeck clinched the ISWC 2015 European title last week in the pumping conditions of Fuerteventura. While top speed sailing records did not crumble this year at this second continental championship in Spain, it was truly a unique example of openness in sports. With both men and women crowns up for grabs, the juniors and the seniors were also on the race course, with a fleet spanning from the ages of 10 to 70. Winner and 41 times world champion Dunkerbeck in fact raced with his father Eugen, now 71, and his 11-year-old son Liam. Athletes competed on 500-meter runs for 6 days, adding up the best 2 results for each 1-hour heat. Technology changed the game at this GPS Speed Challenge, with all windsurfers carrying trackers that provided accurate real-time performance data. Speed records were a windsurfing tradition since the early 1970s, and a near monopoly up until France's Antoine Albo set his 49.09 back in 2008. Yet after decades of pushing it to the limit, it would instead be the kiteboarders to break the 50-knot barrier, with an army of French legends like Alex Caserges and Seb Catelin, who with the USA's Rob Douglas has already gone above the 55 knots or 100 km/h barrier back in 2010. Bjorn Hansen and local powerhouse team Nautica were crowned Masters of Mastrand for the 4th time in a row at the Stena Match Cup last Saturday. Thousands of fans cheer them on from the hilltops as Sweden's top crew faced off against the UK's GAC Pindar team, led by Ian Williams. Carrying a 13-0 in the round robins, there couldn't have been a stronger contender than the 5-time and reigning world champ. But Hansen, a 5-time winner here, swiftly closed the deal by forcing a penalty on race 1 and by defending a slight lead in race 2. Final score 2-0.
I don't know what to say. It's a fantastic feeling, of course. I mean, to do this for the 4th time in a row with these guys, it's just an incredible feeling. And I've said it during the week, to be able to do this as a Swede in front of this fantastic crowd, that is a dream for a Swedish sailor.
Aiming at his 6th match racing world title for this 2015 season, Ian Williams and GAC Pindar are clearly off to another stellar season, and this valuable result still keeps them at the top of the overall leaderboard.
The key was going around the top mark in the lead. There weren't really any passing lanes after that, and we maybe had an opportunity, but we didn't quite take it at the top there. And he obviously got round ahead and did a nice job defending. So well done to Bjorn Hansen and his team.
Following the acquisition by Swedish company Aston Harald, next year's World Match Racing Tour will carry the biggest ever prize money in the history of sailing, with a staggering $1 million cash bonus for the winners of the 2016 ISAF Match Racing World Championship.
Welcome to the office. 28 Jam 24s started the first race of the Tour de France Voile 2015 last week in Dunkerque.
It's quite exciting. For everyone, the new format of racing will be a discovery.
They are launched from 7 a.m. on the beach of Malo-les-Bains for the start of a 45 nautical miles long coastal race.
The weather is great, the water will be colorful. It should be nice.
For the first time since its creation in 1978, the competitors will not sail from one venue to the next. No more nights offshore sitting on the rail. Instead, they launch the boat in the morning and bring it back on the paddock at the end of racing, whether it is a coastal race or a day of stadium racing. There will be 9 acts, 3 in the English Channel, 2 on the Atlantic side and 4 in the mid. In each venue, the competitors have 2 days of sailing, 1 coastal race on day 1 and stadium racing for the other.
The people on the beach can be very close to the boats and watch the racing. I think the new formula is fantastic. More human, more lively, just great.
The 2015 Tour de France will conclude in Nice on July 26.
Winning 5 of the 12 races held, the Swiss team EFG, skippered by Chris Rast, went virtually unchallenged at this year's Melges 24 World Championships. With nearly 100 boats on the Danish waters of Middelfart, including both the pros and the Corinthians, this is by far the #1 event of the season for the class.
You never show up to an event like this with such many good teams and think that you can have such a good series. It's one of those regattas where things just went very well for us. We had good boat speed, the team was very solid. Throughout the event, we always tried to improve our sailing. We're always looking for new things to do, and we had a really fun time on the boat, which is easy when you're winning, right?
However, the wind was not always cooperating, canceling a couple of racing days, including the last one, and what was done was indeed done. In the fight for the rest of the podium, Italy's Andrea Racchelli on Altea took second ahead of Boragulari and the Americans on Air Force. Just 12 points behind another strong Italian crew on Audi Tron, with Italy's Riccardo Simoneschi. With 2 wins and consistent placements in Denmark, Tony Tonisco and the Lenny crew from Estonia were crowned the Melges 24 World Champs in the Corinthian division. The sailing world is mourning 2 of its great heroes, as reports came in last week that Laurent Bourgnon, Switzerland's ocean golden boy of the 1990s, and one of the USA's top Olympians, Trevor Moore, had disappeared during leisure activities while at sea on opposite sides of the Earth. Search and rescue operations were in both cases unsuccessful and have now been officially closed. Bourgnon was last seen by friends before a solo dive in the Toao archipelago of French Polynesia. A legend of offshore sailing, at 16 he crossed the Atlantic on an open beach catamaran. He then went on to win the Solitaire du Figaro and to Route to Rome with his groundbreaking 60-foot trimaran, Primagas. Selected on the 49ers by US Sailing back in London 2012, Trevor Moore was last seen by his fiancée at Miami's Coconut Grove Sailing Center before hopping on a 15-foot inflatable powerboat and reportedly heading towards the Bay of Biscayne. The vessel was later found, but no sign of its pilot. The Stand-Up Paddle World Series completed its second European Cup stopover in Finland over the weekend at the Fuerteventura Masters. Kasper Steinfath from Denmark dominated both the long-distance race and the sprint session and put the pressure on local world-class talent Leonard Nika, posting an impressive second place in his home waters. Hawaii's Zane Schweitzer, proclaimed the reigning Eurochamp here in 2014, secured a third place. Céline Guesdon also stepped it up at this year's Fuerteventura Masters, taking both the sprint and distance races for the overall win. Spain's Anne Sulaika Aramburu closed the chase in second, and Maya Persson with a third for Sweden. The 2015 Eurocup final will be taking place in Rome, Italy, at the end of July. Join the current on Nautical Channel and get your front row seat at top water sports events from around the globe. Meet the heroes, get the live coverage, the news, and the expert analysis from the only dedicated worldwide network. Plunge into the action with NC Sports.